G'day, I'm here today with one of the older generation Ender 3 3D printers. I'm going to share with you how I set it up for a reliable 3D print. First of all, a quick look over the printer itself. As you can see, everything's kind of as you would expect. This is quite an old 3D printer. It's probably in the realm of about 10 years old. It's quite dusty. There is a little bit of filament left in the Bowden tube. The build platform itself here is a little bit uneven. There's a couple of burn-in marks here from the nozzle where it's been driven into the bed. You can see there, after I run my finger across that, it's very dusty. If you've found yourself picking up a second-hand Ender 3 3D printer, you're probably going to find yourself getting a machine in this kind of condition. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to crack on and see if I can get the machine printing as it is. Condition unknown. The first thing I'll do is just move the X and Y axes. Make sure that they're moving freely. Then I'll turn the power on and allow the machine to go through its homing procedure. Okay, the machine has booted. It hasn't done a homing procedure, so I'm going to click through the menu here and run the auto home sequence. With the machine now homed, I can start to get it ready for 3D printing stuff. I'll start by removing the build platform. This Ender 3 has got this nice magnetic build platform sheet. It's flexible, makes breaking off the parts nice and easy. I've found that they do deteriorate fairly rapidly though. If you're running these machines, this could be a hidden cost, especially if the sheets aren't looked after. I'll give this a clean. For cleaning here, I'm using a highly specialized cleaning equipment. It's called a damp cloth, and you should be able to find one of these just about anywhere. The idea behind this is to remove the dust. I'm actually not particularly worried about small bits of plastic from other prints. They can either stay stuck to the bed or they can become a part of the next print. I really don't mind. When the 3D printer heats up, it'll dry off pretty quickly. I'm going to move the Z axis up out of the way and I'll give the actual bed a bit of a wipe off as well before sticking that back down. Some of the firmware updates, and this one has it, have this level bed feature which will automatically run and use the little probe there to level the bed. I'm going to cancel that by turning off the machine and turning it on again. The reason is I like to take some time to manually get the bed as level as I can, and I'll share with you how I do that now. I start by homing the machine. While I'm waiting for the machine to home, I've got a highly technical way of making a feeler gauge. I get a sheet of paper out of the nearest photocopier or printer, fold it in half. And that's my feeler gauge. I'll move the Z-axis down in small increments until it's fairly close to the bed. Now at the moment it thinks it's 10 millimeters away from the bed. It now thinks it is 0 millimeters away from the bed. So it thinks it's touching. There is a little bit of plastic on the end of the nozzle. That really needs to be made compliant. So I'm going to heat the nozzle to 200 degrees. Now that the nozzle's heating up, I'm now going to move the Z-axis in 0.1 millimeter increments here and just slowly drop that down until I can move the sheet of paper backwards and forwards, and I can feel a little bit of a vibration coming back through the paper. That's when I know the nozzle is in the sweet spot for the first layer of printing. If you go 0.1 of a millimeter too far down, it becomes too tight and it almost clamps up like it's in a vice. And you can see there I can't push the paper, it's bending. If I go one step up too far, there's very little to no resistance on the paper. You can feel that little hum back through the sheet of paper, through the tips of your fingers. And that's how you know the nozzle is in that nice sweet spot. Now I turn the machine off. I'll manually move the nozzle and the table to each corner and I'll adjust them using the twirly knobs on the underneath here. Once you've adjusted them, you don't want anybody coming up to the machine and changing them. Once again, with the sheet of paper. As the feeler gauge. This time there won't be any hum because the servos are not active. You have to do it by feel. There are 4 knobs. There's one on each corner. And you're adjusting for the same feel in each corner. Why don't I get it as perfect in the center? It's going to be hard to get it accurate in the center, especially if you've got a used mat like this, because it's going to have undulations and damaged sections and that sort of thing in it. So a little bit of tolerance here is okay. It's those 4 corners you want to get right. After you've done the entire build plate, you do want to go round and do them all again, because each one slightly affect the other one. To do this properly, you're going to have to repeat the procedure 2, maybe even 3 times. Now that I've done that procedure, I'll heat the bed to operating temperature 60 degrees and I'll heat the nozzle to operating temperature 200 degrees. Wait for that to happen. One thing that's convenient about this machine is that if you don't engage the servos, all of those axes move freely. So I haven't actually homed the machine yet. I can still move the axes around and do final check and adjustment with the machine at operating temperature. I'm now ready to run the Z probe wizard, which is in the advanced settings, probe offsets, Z probe menu. Now, this is not necessarily going to be present on all printers. It's going to depend on the firmware. It says here, move nozzle to bed. First, I'll move in 1mm increments. It thinks it's 10mm up, and it should be fairly close. I'm getting my piece of paper out again. Okay. The paper's going through so far without touching. I'm now moving in 0.1mm increments. And using the paper as the feeler gauge, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 is where it's, and 0.6, that's where it's about clamped. I'm going to call that actually touching. I'm clicking done. That has adjusted my Z probe offset to -0.5. I'm not sure if this is something that needs to be done every single time or not, but I do it because I don't fully understand how this firmware works. I go into this configuration menu here, store settings. Press that until it makes that beep. Now, my 3D printer is at operating temperature, which means I should be able to move the extruder and remove the material that's in there. So I'm going to do that. I'll use the servo motor to draw the material out, which is a nice way to test that it's actually working. And of course, if you're impatient and you don't want to wait for the stepper motor to retract all of that filament, you can just push against that spring and draw the material out by hand. If you look at the end of the material there, you can see as it's gone into the extruder, it's expanded slightly. This makes it quite difficult to pull back through the Bowden tube, which is why when I'm changing material, generally I just try to feed in the new material behind the old piece rather than yanking out the, and it just means some of the print job comes through with a little bit of a different colour in it. If you're really concerned about that, you can use the extruder move function to pump some of the new material through. I'll load the new material in. Push it all the way through till I can feel it up against the nozzle. Now it's time to do a test print. The first layer here is the most vulnerable part of the print. And this little piece that prints down the side here is your first dead giveaway whether the print is going to adhere as well. So I like to just use my sense of feel to make sure that that's actually stuck to the bed. But if you've gone through that leveling process nicely, this first little bit of raft that comes out should adhere to that bed just right. If you run your finger over it, you won't be able to move any of it or dislodge it from the surface. I'm not talking about deliberately trying to scrape it off with your nail. I'm talking about dislodging it by just applying a small amount of friction with your finger. If you're able to do that on the first brim, then you're probably in the safe zone. This looks like it's coming out just wonderfully. I'll let the 3D printer get on with its work, come back and see how it went in a couple of hours' time. The finish is really nice using that premium Protect tricolour filament. There's a close-up of the underside, a really nice 3D print out of a early generation Ender 3. If you've picked up an older generation Ender 3 Pro, if the printer's in working condition, you should be able to do this basic procedure and get your first print out of that machine in a pretty reasonable amount of time. The Ender 3 Pro is quite a good machine that can give a lot of hours of reliable 3D printing. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Until next time, see you later.